All right, so today we're going to dive into a story that's got the AI world buzzing.
Yeah, there's been some pretty big news lately.
Big time. So you know how all the giant tech companies have been calling the shots with their super expensive top secret AI?
Right, the ones that cost a fortune to even think about touching.
Well, a Chinese company called DeepSeek just kind of threw a wrench in the works.
They really shook things up.
Totally. And, it's not just about the tech itself, but the way they're doing it, it's a whole different game.
It's like they flipped the script on the way we think about AI development.
Okay, so let's get into the specifics here. First off, we've got DeepSeek V3. They're putting it head to head with the big boys, like ChatGPT.
Right, aiming for the top.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But here's the kicker. Get this. They trained this model, this powerful model, for $5 million.
5 million. Seriously.
5 million. I mean, some of these other models are costing upwards of $1 billion to train. It's like comparing, I don't know, a bicycle to a private jet.
It's a massive difference.
So how do they manage that?
Well, they've got a few tricks up their sleeve. One of them is this thing called mixture of experts.
Okay, mixture of experts. What is that?
It's like instead of one giant model trying to do everything, they've got these specialized modules that only activate when they're needed. Think of it like, a team of experts.
Okay, I'm starting to get it.
Right. You don't bring in a heart surgeon to fix a broken leg.
Makes sense. So they're being really efficient with their computing power.
Yeah, they're only using what they need when they need it.
And that obviously saves a ton of money.
Big time. And then they've got this other technique called distillation.
Distillation. Like with alcohol.
Kind of. Imagine taking all the knowledge from a massive, super expensive model and condensing it into a smaller, more efficient one.
So they're taking the good stuff and leaving the rest behind.
Exactly. And the best part is these smaller models can actually run on everyday hardware.
So you're telling me I could potentially run this top tier AI model on my gaming PC at home?
It's not out of the realm of possibility. And that's what's so groundbreaking about this. It's bringing this high-level AI within reach of everyday people, not just giant corporations.
This is huge. It means researchers, small businesses, even, independent developers can get in on the action.
Exactly. It levels the playing field and opens up a whole world of possibilities.
And that brings us to DeepSeek R1. They're calling this one their thinking machine. And it's all about something called chain of thought.
Chain of thought, yeah. Remember all those logic puzzles that used to really trip up even the smartest AI?
Yeah, those were impossible for them.
Well, R1 seems to have cracked the code.
So how does this chain of thought thing actually work?
It's like instead of just giving an answer, the model actually breaks the problem down into steps, kind of like how we might solve a math problem.
Like showing your work.
Exactly, showing
Yeah.
your work. And that's what allows it to tackle these complex, logical challenges that used to stump AI.
Okay, can you give me a concrete example of how this works in practice?
Okay, imagine you've got 3 boxes, all right? A red one, a blue one, and a yellow one.
All right, 3 boxes. Got it.
The red box is on the bottom, the blue one's in the middle, and the yellow one's on top. Now you take the blue box and you put it on top of the yellow box.
Okay, so now blue's on top of yellow.
Right. And then you add a green box to the very top.
Okay, got it. Green, blue, yellow, then red at the bottom.
See? You got it. Now this seems pretty simple to us, right? But for a lot of AI, this kind of spatial reasoning was incredibly difficult.
Yeah, they'd get totally lost.
But R1, with its chain of thought, it can reason through these steps and get to the right answer.
It's thinking more like a human.
In a way, yeah. It's a glimpse into how AI is evolving to approach problems more like we do.
That's pretty amazing. But there's one more piece to this whole DeepSeek story that really blows my mind. They're making all of this, the models, the code, everything, totally open source.
I know, right? It's practically unheard of.
It's like they're giving away the crown jewels. Why would they do that?
It's a bold move, no doubt. It's sending shockwaves through the tech world, especially in Silicon Valley, where, secrecy is king.
Everyone's holding their cards close to their chest.
Exactly. But DeepSeek is saying, hey, let's collaborate, let's push this technology forward together.
So now researchers from all over the world can access their work and potentially accelerate innovation like we've never seen before.
It's a potential paradigm shift. And it's all happening thanks to this company most people had never even heard of a few weeks ago.
It really feels like DeepSeek is coming out of nowhere and saying, hey, Silicon Valley, watch out. The rest of the world is catching up.
And they're not just catching up, they're bringing a whole new approach to the table. It's going to be fascinating to see how this plays out.
It makes you wonder, what this means for the future of AI, right? If this open source approach takes off, what could that lead to?
It's a really exciting time to be watching this space. Who knows what kind of breakthroughs we'll see when this technology is in the hands of so many brilliant minds.
I can't even imagine. But I have a feeling things are about to get very interesting.
Oh, absolutely. Buckle up.
Yeah, it really feels like DeepSeek saying, hey, Silicon Valley, look what the rest of the world can do.
Right. It's a pretty gutsy move when you think about it.
Yeah, especially considering how secretive those big tech companies have been.
Totally, like they've been hoarding all the AI secrets.
But DeepSeek's just throwing the doors open.
Yeah, it's like they're saying, hey, come on in, let's figure this out together.
Imagine what could happen if, like, 1,000 brilliant minds got their hands on this technology.
It'd be an explosion of creativity.
Right. Who knows what they could come up with?
Yeah, and the collaboration, that's what's so exciting about this whole thing.
People from all over the world working together, building on each other's ideas.
Sharing solutions, pushing the boundaries.
It's like, the difference between a closed ecosystem and a thriving rainforest.
Oh, that's a great analogy.
In a closed ecosystem, only a few things can survive. But in a rainforest, there's just this incredible diversity.
So many different species, all interconnected.
And that's what open source AI could create, this vibrant, dynamic landscape.
With new ideas and applications popping up everywhere.
Yeah, and not just from the usual suspects, right? We could see people from all walks of life contributing.
With different perspectives, different backgrounds.
And that could lead to some truly groundbreaking solutions.
Yeah, AI could be used to tackle all sorts of problems, from healthcare to education to climate change.
It's like the possibilities are endless.
And it's not just about solving problems, it's about creating new opportunities.
Right, like whole new industries could spring up around this technology.
And that brings up an important point. What about jobs? I mean, a lot of people are worried about AI taking over.
Yeah, the whole robots are going to replace us thing.
It's a valid concern, but I think it's important to remember that AI is a tool.
Like a hammer or a computer or a car.
Right. It can be used for good or for bad, depending on who's wielding it.
So it's not necessarily AI versus humans. It's more about how we choose to use AI.
Exactly. It's about finding ways to harness its power for good, to augment our own capabilities.
Like instead of replacing jobs, maybe AI could help us create new ones.
Or transform existing ones, make them more efficient, safer, more fulfilling.
Yeah, like imagine if AI could take over all the boring, repetitive tasks.
Then we'd be free to focus on the things that require creativity, critical thinking, human interaction.
The stuff that robots can't do.
Exactly. And if DeepSeek's open source approach takes off, it could mean that these powerful AI tools become available to everyone.
Not just big corporations, but small businesses, startups, even individuals.
That could be a real game changer for economic empowerment, especially for people who have been traditionally excluded from the tech world.
So this is about more than just AI. It's about social justice, about creating a more equitable future.
It's about giving everyone a chance to participate in the technological revolution.
But there are concerns, right? Like, what about the potential downsides of this open source approach?
Sure, there are always risks.
Could this technology fall into the wrong hands?
That's a possibility, and it's something we need to be very mindful of.
We need safeguards, ethical guidelines, ways to make sure AI is used responsibly.
It's not enough to just make the technology accessible. We have to make sure it's used for good.
So it sounds like this is a conversation that needs to involve everyone, not just tech experts.
Yeah, we need policymakers, ethicists, everyday people, all coming together to figure out how to navigate this new landscape.
So this isn't just a tech issue, it's a societal issue.
Exactly. It's about our shared future.
Yeah.
And we all have a role to play in shaping it.
Okay, so say someone's listening to this and they're thinking, all right, I'm on board. How do I get involved? What can they actually do?
Well, there are tons of ways to get involved, even if you're not a programmer.
Really? Like what?
There are online communities, open source projects. You can contribute to documentation, testing, even just spreading the word.
So anyone can make a difference, regardless of their technical skills.
Exactly. The more diverse voices we have in this conversation, the better.
We need artists, writers, philosophers, everyone.
Because ultimately, AI is about more than just algorithms and data.
It's about what it means to be human in a world that's increasingly shaped by technology.
And that's a question we all need to be grappling with.
It's exciting, it's a little scary, but it's definitely a conversation worth having.
Absolutely. And the beauty of open source AI is that it empowers us to have that conversation, to shape the future we want to see.
It's wild, right? We always talk about AI in these like big abstract terms,
What is
like
it?
some force of nature, yeah.
But then you see something like DeepSeek and it's like, oh, wait.
It's just people.
Yeah. It's people with ideas trying to make a difference.
And taking risks, challenging the status
And
quo.
it kind of brings it all back down to earth, you know? It's not some magical thing. It's just us.
It's a reminder that technology doesn't just happen, we create it.
We shape it with our choices.
And AI is so powerful, we have to be really careful about how we shape it
Yeah, we have a responsibility to steer it in the right direction.
to make sure it benefits everyone, not just a select few. And it feels like DeepSeek is opening the door for that to happen.
By making it open source, they're inviting everyone to the table.
So what does this mean for you, the listener? You might be thinking, okay, this is all very interesting, but I'm not a programmer, I'm not a tech CEO. How does this impact me?
It impacts you because AI is already everywhere, even if you don't realize it.
It's in your phone, your car, your shopping recommendations.
It's shaping the information you see, the decisions you make.
And as AI gets more powerful, it's only going to become more integrated into our lives.
So understanding how it works, how it's developed, it's not just about being tech savvy, it's about being an informed citizen.
Because these algorithms are making decisions that affect all of us.
And we need to be part of the conversation, asking questions, challenging assumptions.
Making sure AI is developed ethically, responsibly.
And aligned with our values, not just the values of a few powerful corporations.
It's a lot to think about, but it's exciting too, right? We're at this pivotal moment.
We have the chance to shape the future of one of the most powerful technologies ever created.
And that's not something to take lightly.
It's a huge responsibility, but it's also an incredible opportunity.
To create a future where AI benefits everyone.
To build a world that's more just, more equitable, more human.
So, yeah, it's a little daunting, but it's also inspiring.
And that's what we hope you take away from this deep dive, a sense of possibility.
A sense that we're all in this together.
And that we have the power to shape the future of AI for the better.
Well said. And that's a wrap on our deep dive into DeepSeek and the open source AI revolution.
Thanks for joining us.
We hope you learned something new and maybe even got a little inspired to get involved.
Because the future of AI is in all of our hands.
So let's make it a future we